On today's segment of Cooking with the T-Rex Chef, I'm going to be turning these ingredients into a basic and elegant marinara. I'm also going to be making a pan-fried bread. That's right, a pan-fried bread. Stay tuned.
Don't ask me why I am this way. I should have stayed in bed today and
My neighbor's mowing his yard, and that's a little bit loud, but we have to do a show. So, my name is Andy, I'm the T-Rex Chef, and welcome to my kitchen. Today, we're going to be tackling a basic marinara, making it nice and elegant, a fresh marinara. We're not going to cook it forever, it's only going to be cooking for about an hour. What are we going to be using to cook with? Pasta. Don't know the name of it, so I'm just going to call it Tony. San Marzano tomatoes, the Cadillac of tomatoes. Same thing, San Marzanos.
Set it.
Sorry. Fresh ingredients: basil, crushed red pepper, garlic, sweet onion, fresh parsley.
Okay.
So right now I have everything waiting for me behind me. I have my pan with my water in it. I have my cast iron skillet heating up. And I have my saucepan for my tomato sauce right over here. So what we're going to do is we're going to get started and get some of our ingredients chopped up. Very simple recipe. Only thing I need to chop today is onions and garlic. Sweet onion. I like the sweet onion because it adds sweetness to the sauce. You can cut your onion any way you want. I see everyone, oh, you can't cut the end off. You got to cut this end off. Just cut your onion. I like to cut mine into a smaller portion, and we're only going to be using half of this. Now, most chefs tell you get some kosher salt on here to help mince it up, but I don't like doing that because I think it adds too much salt to whatever else you're cooking. But I get what they're saying. Gives it a nice coarse texture to kind of mince up the garlic. I just like to use elbow grease. It's minced. It's minced. Man, I'm bald. That's it.
Okay.
All right, I have my pan waiting for me. We're not going to be browning our onions and or garlic, so we want this over a medium-low heat. Okay, now you hear that? That's way too hot. So I'm going to turn that low, and I'm going to back that off of the heat. Don't want to brown the onions, okay? I just want to sweat them, and I want to get them translucent. So I'm backing this off of the heat for a minute. We're going to saute these for about 3 to 5 minutes and then add the garlic. Don't add your garlic right away, because if you burn your garlic, everything tastes like burnt garlic, and burnt garlic is really not that good. Now, onions are nice and translucent. We're going to add our garlic. We're going to give this about 60 seconds. Heat it up a little bit, release its flavors. All right, sauce is going in. Because these are whole. So what we're going to do is we're going to simmer this and break up these fresh peel. Oh, these are so beautiful. And not wanting to waste anything, like any good Sicilian or Italian, get as much out of there as possible, because these San Marzanos aren't really cheap. There's a reason you pay a little bit more for them. That goes in. Our bay leaf, a little bit of sugar, and our crushed red pepper flakes going in. Freshly cracked pepper. Fresh basil. Okay? Heat it up a little bit. You're going to get the oils released in it and all the lovely goodness. Put the stems in there. You're not going to be eating it. What we're going to be doing is simmering this, getting the flavor out of it, extracting the basil. So after this is simmered, and we'll remove the basil, we're gonna buzz it up a little bit to make it nice and smooth, and then we're gonna return it to simmer a little bit more. Now we have to take a union break, right, Barry? So we're gonna let this come up to a simmer. I don't like to cover mine because it traps some of the acid in there, makes it a little bit more tart, if you will. So we're gonna let this come up to a simmer, and when we come back from the union break, we're watch yourself, Barry. When we come back from the union break, we're going to get our pan-fried bread ready to go into the cast iron skillet. So we'll be right back.
Yummy.
Giggity. Bing bong.
Let's just not get viewers, okay? Whatever we can. All right, I'm rolling.
Now our tomatoes have been simmering for a little bit here under a slow heat and a little lazy boil there. Now I'm only going to cook this for about an hour. What I'm going to do is cook the rawness out of the tomatoes. If you want to cook it longer, you go right ahead. What about salt and pepper? Salt and pepper is going to go in at the very end. Now what we're going to do is we're going to get our dough ready for our pan-fried bread. This has been proofing for about 2 hours in here. So I cheated a little bit. I went to the local grocery store where I actually work, Fresh Foods. I'm name dropping. And I got one of our pizza doughs that we use. Not going to be using all of this because that's a lot. So later tonight I'll be making a pizza. But for right now, we're going to get this onto the counter here. Pan-fried bread. I've done this a couple of times just for fun. I tried it, and what I've learned in the process is that it has to be very thin. You can't really have it be thick unless you want to pop it back into the oven to cook that way, but we're going to be cooking it all the way in the pan. And so now what we're going to need to do, roll this out. And again, I'm using a cast iron skillet. I'm trying to get away from the non-stick because I want to use something that's, you know, a nice seasoned pan, and that's the way it used to be, and I want to get back to that. If you have cast iron and you like cooking with cast iron, you know that the pans hold the heat very well than with a normal non-stick pan. I mean, this could be enough for 2. I could have about 5 of these personally. Just rolled out a little bit. Yes, I'm rolling the dough. I know that's sacrilege. I know people are going to say, why are you rolling it out? I like to roll out my dough. I haven't had any problems with that. You should have fun when you cook. And I don't understand when people say they don't have fun while they're cooking. Get some music going while you're cooking. If you want to have a adult beverage while you cook, have an adult beverage while you cook.
What?
So now we have our dough. Look, you know, it's, I don't know, 1/4 inch thick right there. We're going to get this over, and then we're going to cover it. And while our pasta's cooking, we're going to let this rise a little bit. It's difficult.
Mommy.
It's not really covering very well.
Mommy.
Mama. Okay, let me. All right. I'm gonna try to remove as much as we can from the pan. All right, let's see if we got as much out as possible there. All right. Now I've got that at my desired sauciness or fluidityness. I don't know, I'm making words up as I go here. So, why did I buzz it? We have our garlic in there, we have our onion in there. It incorporates it further into the sauce that you have. I'm gonna return our basil back because we still has flavor. We still want to take some flavor from that. So if those of you who caught it, I said don't add your salt and pepper till the very end. Well, I already added my pepper So now I'm just going to add a little bit of salt. Your main vehicle for your salt should be your pasta. But this, you just want a little bit. I mean, all that, it's really not that much. It's about a half a teaspoon in there. So those of you who did catch it, yeah, I did say that. I know. It's my bad.
Good.
Pasta in the water, coming back up to a boil. We have our sauce. I've turned it down to low, so it's a nice lazy boil. We have our cast iron skillet over a medium-low heat, ready and waiting for us. It's going to take about 3 to 5 minutes each side. And the brilliance, again, of a cast iron skillet is that it holds that heat. That light sizzle. So what's going to happen when I take this out, it's going to be nice and hot. We're going to be seasoning it with some dried oregano and dried basil. What's the difference? Why is the difference? Why are we going to use dry on this one? I think the dry is a little bit better because it sticks to it and you don't need as much, and it's a little bit cheaper than anything else. So when you're using your cast iron skillet, the brilliance of it is it's going to continue to stay warm. So when you do pull it out, that little bit of oil on it is going to let everything stick to it. So there's going to be a little bit of dried oregano, a little bit of dried basil, and some fresh Parmesan going up. All right, let's check. It's been about 3.5 to 4 minutes. Gonna take a check. Oh yeah. You can need a little bit more lube in the pan. Now it's fluffing up. So we're gonna turn this down to low. Again, the brilliance of having a cast iron skillet is that it retains the heat so well. So it's gonna cook the rest of the way on low. And then we're gonna season it when it comes out of the pan. All right, chop up some fresh parsley. It's gonna finish our sauce and our pan fried dough.
Okay, so I'm rolling. So give it a couple stirs and then on with it.
Saved a little bit of the water from the pasta back into the pan with some sauce. I let it simmer in here. It'll be slow for about 1.5 minutes. That's to incorporate some sauce right into the pasta. Gonna bring this over. Gonna add some fresh parsley to this. Olive oil. If you like a ton of sauce, then use a ton of sauce. I like to taste the pasta as well as the sauce. There you go. Look at how that pasta holds all that sauce. Gorgeous. All right, gonna bring our bread over. If it has a little bit of oil on it, that's okay. We have our oregano and our basil mixture right here. Gonna hit that right there. Gonna hit this over top of it. And that heat that's still from your warm or hot bread is gonna activate the oils in the basil and in the oregano. So now we're gonna add some cheese to the top of that. There we go right there. Now we're gonna add some cheese over here. Right over the top. And do yourself a favor, get some really good Parmesan cheese. I mean, it makes all the difference in the world. Got some of that seasoning. Bring it up. A little fresh parsley on there. A little fresh parsley on top of there. Fresh marinara. Pan-fried bread. Really good Parmesan cheese. You really can't go wrong. Everybody pairs pasta with wine. I like to pair mine with beer. Today I'm using Fat Tire out of New Belgium, Colorado, New Belgium Brewing Company. Nice little adult beverage here for Barry and I. I think we both earned it and deserve it. That's for you, Mr. Barry. You're a good kid. Nice and fresh. A little bit of heat from those chilies. Trust me when I say San Marzano tomatoes are the Cadillac of tomatoes. They're fantastic. You really can't duplicate them with any other tomato. If you like what you've seen, hit the like button. If you really like what you've seen, hit the subscribe button. If you like my shirts, or if you don't like my shirts, check out the link that I'm going to provide below to Fresh Press Studios, my buddy Gary Peters Jr., and my other buddy Jeff Erickson make these shirts. And if you want one, you can get one. Thank you for watching the show. My name is Andy. Is with me always doing the hard work behind the camera is Barry. Thank you, Barry. Come back and see us again.
Can we eat now?
We can eat now. All right, Barry. Time for you to taste test, brother.
There you go. There you go.
Good, mommy. Good stuff.
Cheers.
You all have a great day.
Boom.
Boy, when we get into the studio. Bye, later.
No!